Grand rising to everyone today. My name is Robert Frost Jr. I am a poet and I'm the author of this book, Ether, Ether by Robert Frost. And today I will be reading from my book uh, from page 23, and the subject title of this particular uh, chapter is called Betrayal. Before we get started, I would like to invite the Crown Jewel of Poetry fans. I would like to invite the Crown Jewel of Poetry fans uh, to please hit the like and share button. To those that are just coming in contact with me, please subscribe uh, to my YouTube channel, the Crown Jewel of Poetry, and Robert Frost also. Please share this video so that the content will be able to reach many people. And it also signal to YouTube that the message is important, and they will include it in the algorithm that it will be able to reach many people. Uh, so I'll be reading from page 23, and the title of this particular poem is called Betrayal. The sinister aspect of betrayal have several tentacles. To gain someone's trust, then deceive them is the pinnacle of deception. My perception on the subject is not a myth. If you are looking for betrayal, look behind the smiling face and the pat on the back. In order for betrayal to touch you, the perpetrators must know how to act. Looking back, how could we forget the kiss of Judas and the sword of Brutus? Those who were betrayed were sometimes clueless. In a motorcade parade, Kennedy was shot in the back of his head. On the hotel balcony of Memphis, Martin Luther King Jr. lay dead, drenched in red. Watch your friends and keep your enemies close. Betrayal can appear at any time through one or both. Sammy the Bull and John Gotti. Betrayal doesn't discriminate. It can touch anybody. Uh, this particular poem is very relevant uh, in regards to pivotal moments in the transition of time in human history. If we look through the canals of history, we'll find that every relevant leader that touched the face of the earth was at some point in time betrayed. And I want to look at the nuance and the intricate parts of betrayal. Some of the smartest people in the world were betrayed. Some of our most profound spiritual leaders that walked upon the earth were betrayed. Some of our Great military strategists were at some point in time betrayed. Some of our most outstanding political leaders was at some point in time betrayed. People that have a tendency to betray and have the qualities to be betray someone, they are very deceptive. They are very cunning, and they are good at wearing masks. Everyone that smiles in your face isn't your friend. And everyone that comes along and pats you on the back and said, "Good job, you're doing a good job. You've done well." It doesn't mean they mean it. In fact, for a man or woman to be able to betray you, they must first bring proximity of you. They must first gain gain access to you. When I say gain access to you, I'm not only referring to gaining access to your physical location, but I'm also referring to gaining access to personal knowledge about you, gaining access to your trust. So they must be very theatrical. In fact, most people that are able to portray people, they could win an Emmy at the Oscar Awards because they are very skillful actors or actresses. Betrayers crosses gender, male or female. Betrayal crosses or transcends political ideologies. Betrayal transcends religious affiliation. Betrayal transcends family genealogy. Betrayal transcends educational academics. Betrayal transcends tribes. Betrayal transcends languages. I want to look at some of our prominent spiritual leaders that were victims of betrayal. Let's look at the prophet Yeshua ben Mariam. Some refer to him as Isa. Some call him Jesus. Jesus or Yeshua had 12 disciples, and one of them was a betrayer. His name was Judas Iscariot. And this man walked with the great spiritual master. He saw Yeshua perform miracles. He saw Yeshua uh, reveal revelation that was not known to the common man or woman. He saw Yeshua do many miraculous things. So he was in very close proximity of Prophet Yeshua all the time. It was not unbeknownst to Yeshua, alayhi salam, that Judas would be the one that betrayed him, for he indicated so at the Last Supper. When they sat down at the table and they were eating, and he was passing the bread and the food, the drinks around. And he said, there's one sitting here at this table that will betray me. And basically, Yeshua told him, said, go on and do what you have to do. For I already know who you are. And they were looking for Yeshua according to the scriptures. And Judas told the soldiers, give me some money. I think it was 30 pieces of silver, 30 pieces of silver, somewhere in that number. Give me some money and I'll tell you exactly where he is. So the soldiers gave Judas the silver, and Judas pointed them or led them directly to him. Now, this is a man that Yeshua fed. This is a man that Yeshua gave revelation and enlightenment to. But he still betrayed the great Nabi. President John F. Kennedy, a great American political leader, for the most part, stood upon the principles of freedom, justice, and equality for all. On a motorcade parade one day, an assassin was perched. A sniper was perched on a tall building. And as the motorcade parade came through, the assassin took the opportunity to unalive him. intricate detail had to be transferred to this assassin for him to know the exact location, the time, and the exact angle he needed to be in order to complete his diabolical mission. Martin Luther King, while in Memphis, Tennessee, stood on a balcony and as he stood on the balcony looking out, he was shot dead. The assassin had to receive pertinent, relevant information of the time, the hotel, the location Martin Luther King would be for him to achieve his devious objective. John Gotti, a mob boss. Now, I'm not here to uh, paint a beautiful picture of organized crime. I'm not here to paint a beautiful picture of organized crime. I'm only stating facts. John Gotti uh, was a generous man. He took care of himself, his family. He protected the neighborhood. So he had, even though he had other qualities that may not have been so wholesome, he had qualities that were. Most mob bosses were and are considered untouchable. But his number one hitman, Sammy the Bull, was the one who snitched on him and brought down the Gambino family. Now let's fast forward until this present time. In 2025, there was a four-star general who was located at one point in time in Burkina Faso in West Africa. His name was Michael, or is Michael Langley. For the most part, Michael Langley was putting on the front that he was there in Burkina Faso for the betterment of Burkina Faso and as a representative of black people, so-called African Americans in America. He was allegedly supposed to be a representative of us, but really all he was an undercover agent for the Trump administration. Michael Langley scouted out the territory, scouted out the land, he wore a mask of friendship. But after he gathered all of his uh, information, after he gathered all of the knowledge he needed, after ascertaining uh, the land and scoping out the land, the territory, watching President Ibrahim Traore with an evil eye, even though he appeared to be a friend. And after he obtained all of his knowledge, all of the knowledge that he needed, he couldn't wait to get back to America to report to Congress lies about President Ibrahim Traore. He didn't come back with any good report. He didn't come back. He didn't come back to America and tell Congress that President Ibrahim Traore was removing fanatics from the territory of Burkina Faso, taking back the land that was illegally occupied by fanatics. He didn't come back and report that to Congress. He didn't come back to America and report to Congress that President Ibrahim Traore had seized control of the gold mines in Burkina Faso and was redistributing the wealth to the population. He didn't come back and report that to Congress. He didn't come back to America and report that President Ibrahim Traore had built a bank so that Burkina Faso can process and print their own money and storage their wealth, their money within their banks, owned solely by Burkina Faso. He didn't come back to America to report that. He didn't come back to America and report that Captain Ibrahim Traore had built cement factory where they didn't have to import cement from foreign countries in order to be able to build up the infrastructure of Burkina Faso. Michael Langley did not come back to America and report that. Michael Langley did not come back to America and report that President Ibrahim Traore was building hospitals so that the citizens of Burkina Faso could receive adequate medical care. He didn't come back to America and report that to the Joint Chiefs of Staff or Congress. Michael Langley did not come back to America and report to Congress that President Ibrahim Traore had built a gold refining company, for a gold refinery in Burkina Faso, so that the gold not only could be uh, dug from the grounds of Burkina Faso, but it could also be dug, processed, and refined in Burkina Faso. He didn't come back to America to report all of these heroic, honorable things that President Ibrahim Traore had done. But he did come back and say that President Ibrahim Traore was taking the gold and using it for his own personal protection. Now, in case many of you all don't know General Michael Langley, he's a man that looks like me, a man that has melanin, a man that has black skin. He looks just like me. He looked just like me. He looks just like you. The enemy, when he or she wish to achieve their objective of betrayal, they must first find someone that will be able to infiltrate. In order for the perpetrator to be able to infiltrate, they must have something in common to the people or the person that they choose to infiltrate. There must be some type of common grounds. Whether the common grounds be in your language, or your family, or your political ideologies, or your pleasures. The perpetrator must be able to find some type of common grounds. It doesn't matter if the common grounds have to be of some type of shared religious ideology. There must be some type of common grounds. Because without common grounds, you will never be able to gain access to be close enough to strike like a venomous snake. I have a saying, let one in a million be your confidant. Let one in a million be your confidant. And watch that one with scrutinous eyes. Because a friend today could be an enemy tomorrow. So whatever it is that you have, your secrets, tell them to no one. Because the minute the friend the so-called friend that you thought you had, as soon as there's an argument or disagreement or a separation, that friend or that so-called friend can't wait to expose that or reveal that. So when you're climbing the ladder of success, or you're achieving some miraculous things in this world, or you're being used in a mighty way, brace yourself and anticipate betrayal. Betrayal follows greatness the same way little small fish follow the killer whales or the sperm whales in the ocean, or the oxpecker that follows the ox. They follow them not because they're friends or they love them or care about them. They follow them because they know they are guaranteed a meal. Once you become great and people see that you have the Midas touch, people see that you are the one that can lay the golden egg, they will follow you. They will follow you and they will put on great shows. They will smile with you, kiki with you, pat you on the back. They will jump through many hoops just to be in proximity of you because they know they're in the proximity of something great. And they want to be a part of that by any means necessary. In my little small, I wouldn't will say small, but in my little small endeavors, because I do strive to be humble before the Supreme Creator, in my little small endeavors that I've been able to achieve and accomplish in life, I have encountered that. On my social media platform, there are people that I have blocked 100 times. No matter how many times I block them, they come right back. They come right back. Facebook need to revamp its blocking techniques because they don't work. I know I've blocked people 100 times, and them same people be right back in front of me. They're not following me because they think the world of me, or they care so much about me. They following me because they see something that they probably could get that would be beneficial to them. Whether it's getting views because of the followers that follow me, or whether getting likes, or perhaps getting opportunities to some type of money scheme, money venture. The people that betray you are not excluded just to strangers. For the most time, the people that betray you are not strangers. They are family and so-called familiar friends. Family members are the number one betrayers. When we look at Yusuf alayhi salam, he was he told his dream, and Yaqub alayhi salam said, shh, don't say that. Don't talk about your dream. But his brothers overheard it. The first opportunity they got when they was traveling out and about through the land, they rushed Yashu, Yusuf, pardon me, alayhi salam. They rushed Yusuf alayhi salam, bind him up with ropes, and lowered him into the bottom of a well. And Yusuf alayhi salam was later found by a traveler. And he was sold into slavery. But as his life progressed, Almighty God raised him up into high position within the government of Egypt. He became one of Pharaoh's top uh, advisors, wazirs. Pharaoh was so impressed with him, with his knowledge, insight, that he placed him over all the granaries, over all the food of the land. And the same brothers that had betrayed him when there was a famine and they had nowhere to go, no food, no one to look to, no help, they had to come right back to the man that was over all the food that was being distributed in Egypt in order to be able to get some food. Yusuf, being of such a high stature, not only in his physical appearance, but high stature of his mind, he did not do unto his brothers what they did unto him. In fact, when they came and was in need of food, he fed them. You see, when people do you evil and you don't do evil back unto them, they think, oh, you soft and all that there. No, you're not soft, you're wise. Because once you uh, forgive the ones that did you wrong, only thing you're doing is reaping coals of fire on their head. They should be praying to God that God give them some type of punishment. So the weight that's going to fall upon them from that kind gesture will not crush them. So when people being kind to you and you've been evil to them, don't think they soft and you just get away with something. Really what they're doing is opening the door, opening the gate for whatever judgment or penalty that the Supreme Creator, the universe, is going to send to you, will strike you and hit you. It might even take you out of this world. So I want to encourage my brothers and sisters, be vigilant. Be vigilant wherever you find yourself at. If you're a president and you're a righteous president, be vigilant. Be vigilant of those who are on your administration, who serve in your administration. Be vigilant when it comes to your bodyguards, your security personnel. Be vigilant with your finances and those you are entrusting uh, to distribute the wealth to the people. You must monitor them very carefully because everybody don't know how to handle wealth. And we Africans or Akabulians have a tendency to be very, very greedy people. And we Akabulians have a tendency to be selfish people. So I would encourage all of the great presidents, Burkina Faso, Mali, Niger, Ghana, Gabon, South Africa. I would encourage you all to be very vigilant because the betrayer doesn't sleep. And just like a deadly cobra lying in the bush in the darkness of night, they're waiting for you to pass by and strike you while you're unaware of their presence. Thank you very much. And I pray that you all will receive something from this message and from this chapter. And once again, please like, subscribe, and share this message. Thank you.